Everybody can be seated, please. Good morning. Are you guys excited? Wait a minute. Are you guys excited to be inducted into Sigma? Where's those pom-poms? Yes! Welcome to the spring. Ooh, that was loud. Welcome to the spring 2026 Sigma induction. It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you today to go ahead and to facilitate this induction ceremony. So let's go ahead and get started. Just a little bit of overview of who supports Sigma. So we have our leadership. We have our dean, Dr. Kelly Weeder, who's on stage right now. We have our Sigma Leadership Board, who is also on the stage. And we have Dr. Catherine Cox, who's going to be our guest speaker. So let's talk a little bit about Sigma. Because I don't know if family members were like, what are you going to drag me to? What is this Sigma thing? Does that kind of sound familiar? So here at Sigma, what we try to do is we try to go ahead and celebrate academic excellence, and we also try to celebrate people who have professional integrity and display professionalism in their field. So our mission in Sigma is to develop nurse leaders anywhere and everywhere to help our patients improve their outcomes. Our vision is connected, empowered nurse leaders transforming global healthcare. Can you tell I'm a little nervous? So Sigma at a glance. Sigma started in 1922, over 100 years ago, with these 6 lovely individuals from Indiana University. You can contrast that to today's Sigma. Today's Sigma, we have over 100,000 members, and they're global members, over 600 chapters. Can you see that we've come a long way? So to our inductees, Sigma members are leaders at all levels of the healthcare industry. The society only extends memberships to students in the baccalaureate level or the graduate level, and also our chapter leaders, who have demonstrated superior academic achievement, academic integrity, and professional leadership. Our membership includes top-notch nursing executives, clinicians, educators, researchers, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and so many more. You are among this distinguished group of nurses who have met the rigorous standards of Sigma. You truly deserve our congratulations. So we have Sigma letters, and you were probably wondering, maybe you weren't wondering, but maybe it would be helpful for you to understand our Sigma letters or symbols. So Sigma, Theta, Tau. The Sigma is for love, the Theta is for courage, and then the Tau is for honor. This is what our founders felt were enduring values for the nursing profession. Let's take a look at the crest. So the crest is adorned on your membership certificate, and you'll notice the symbolism in the crest. So we have an eye at the center. Can you guys see the eye? The eye represents wisdom and discernment. We have the pillars on the side, the left and the right, and they represent service, professional endeavor, and strength and leadership. And guess what the lamp stands for? Knowledge. All right. So let's talk about the key. So the key is embedded in the membership pin, and it reminds us to uphold our charge of love, courage, and honor, and is also a symbol of your scholarship. The cup denotes the satisfaction of professional life. The circle with its 6 stars represent the 6 founders. The lamp is the lamp of knowledge, yes. And the letters in black represent our charge. It's our commitment to excellence. The purpose of this ceremony is not only to honor you as a new member and to celebrate your success, but it's also Sigma's promise to you to support you throughout your nursing career and to be a lifelong resource for you. This support will come in a multitude of ways: continuing education activities, nursing journals, career support, opportunities to participate in community events, and connect with people around the world. And speaking of connecting with people around the world, Do you guys have it displayed on the screen? Zoom link, is that here for you guys to see? We have in the Zoom link chapter leaders. So we have 12 very experienced educators for Trinidad and Tobago, which Dr. Cox is going to talk about in a couple of minutes, that they're going to be inducted in Sigma around the world here. So the purpose of this ceremony, like I said, is to honor you. So we're going to move on and talk about our guest speaker. And Dr. Cox, I hope I don't embarrass you with what I say. So Dr. Cox is a retired U.S. Navy nurse and an educator who joined George Washington University in 2016. During her distinguished military career, she served in critical care, including at the Naval Medical Center in Bethesda, and she's a retired U.S. Navy Reserves nurse and achieved the rank of captain, I believe. Wow. She also served as the director of programs at the American Association of Colleges of Nursing from 2012 to 2016. Recognized nationally for her contributions to military nursing and nursing education, Dr. Cox was inducted as a fellow of the American Academy of Nursing in 2020 and became a fellow in the Academy of Nursing Education in 2022. Her research focuses on supporting military and veteran nursing students through initiatives that are innovative educational strategies and best practices. Beyond academia, Dr. Cox is engaged in veteran and community services through organizations such as Wreaths Across America, the Disabled Veterans Winter Sports, and the American Red Cross. Dr. Cox has received the prestigious Fulbright U.S. Scholar Award 25 to 26 academic year to support nursing education development at the University of Southern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago through research, curriculum consultation, and faculty initiatives. It is my great honor to introduce to you today as our guest speaker, Dr. Catherine Cox.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Radzikevich, for that intro. Distinguished guests, Sigma leaders, Dean Kelly Weeder, faculty, family, and friends, and most importantly, our newest Sigma inductees. Congratulations. I have to do the usual disclaimer. Anyone that's ever worked for the federal government, these have to be here. I do not speak on behalf of the federal government because the Fulbright program is an initiative managed through the Department of State, U.S. Department of State. So I'm not speaking on their behalf. All right. 12 of today's inductees are my colleagues from the University of the Southern Caribbean, so USC for short, joining us on Zoom, which makes this moment especially meaningful for me. But truly, watching all of you step into Sigma, nurse leaders from different paths and places, is a proud moment. Not quite a proud parent moment, maybe more like a proud colleague who is just far enough removed to not be responsible for tuition, exams, or grading. I would like to share a journey, a bit about my journey as a Fulbright U.S. scholar in Trinidad and Tobago, but also my journey with Sigma, because the two are more connected than I ever could have imagined. Let me start with a little honesty. I was not inducted into Sigma as an undergraduate student. I was a good student, but I was what we might generously call average, definitely not top 10% of my class. Thus, Sigma did not come into my life until after my master's program, and that matters because it is a reminder that excellence is not always about where you start, but how you grow. This is a picture of me as a young Navy lieutenant stationed in Cherry Point, North Carolina at the Marine Corps Air Station. This was before I got my master's and before I was a member of Sigma. All right, so fast forward to 2019. I had the opportunity to participate in Sigma's Experienced Nurse Faculty Leadership Academy. This is a highly competitive program designed to develop leadership capacity in nursing faculty. And let me tell you, this was not your average workshop where you sit, listen politely, and multitask. This was real work. We were paired with experienced mentors, supported by faculty experts, and tasked with developing and implementing a leadership project tied to our professional goals. For my project, I focused on something I am passionate about, supporting new faculty. Hence, I identified best practices in nursing faculty onboarding. I developed a standardized onboarding program at my institution, GW Nursing, and piloted a study examining whether orientation offerings actually meet faculty needs. And yes, it resulted in scholarship, but most importantly, it resulted in change. That Sigma Leadership Academy experience shaped how I think about leadership. Leadership is not a position, it is about building systems that help others succeed. That is Sigma at its best. Now, let us fast forward again to my Fulbright experience in Trinidad and Tobago. So that's not in Trinidad and Tobago, but that's my kids and me. Because we're going to talk about my global experience as well. So that picture was taken when we were stationed overseas in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And whenever there was an Eid, a long school holiday, we traveled within that region. So this is when we got to go to India for about 10 days. All right. So as a retired U.S. Navy nurse, I've had the privilege of serving globally, but I've also experienced life overseas as a military spouse with my family in Okinawa, Japan, and the Kingdom of Bahrain. Because of those experiences, I knew how powerful living abroad could be, both personally and professionally, so I began to see Fulbright as an opportunity to return overseas in a very different role. All right. When I applied for my Fulbright Award, I went through a very deliberate and highly competitive process, one that requires you to select just one country and one project. After a lot of research and careful consideration, I chose the University of the Southern Caribbean in Trinidad and Tobago. For those of you who may not know where Trinidad and Tobago is, it is a twin island nation at the southern end of the Caribbean island chain, just outside what most people picture when they think of the Caribbean. It is also located about 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. So yes, it is Caribbean, but it's also close enough to South America that you start paying a little bit more attention to the news while living there. And then I got panic calls when on the day that the U.S. Military entered Venezuela to make sure that I wasn't involved. Anyway, I was not. I can tell you, we didn't even know that was going on. That's how isolated we were. All right. So from there, I worked with my Fulbright sponsor at USC, Dr. Phyllis Wolford, to focus on 3 key areas, and that was building research capacity within the Department of Nursing Education, delivering faculty professional development, and providing curriculum consultation. What I discovered very quickly is that these were not separate goals. They were all about people, relationships, and shared growth. Initially, I planned to teach research, but instead, I built a team, and then we did that research together. We conducted a mixed method study using the Casey Fink Readiness for Practice survey, marking the first time this instrument has been used in Trinidad and Tobago. We examined how graduating nursing students perceive their readiness to transition into practice, one of the most critical moments in a nurse's career. And this work is now moving towards publication, not as my project, but as our project at USC. All right, so along the way, hang on a second, let me just go back. I think I'm off. So that was our research, that's Casey Fink and publication to follow there. All right, so along the way, we did, I introduced my USC colleagues to Sigma. So now about half of the USC nursing faculty are joining the Phi Epsilon chapter of Sigma today. not because they have to, but because they see its value for their own growth. That is when you know something is working. So the cool thing is, as I said, the second thing that we were doing was professional development. And so we instituted Faculty Fridays. So with that, it was based on a needs assessment, what they felt that they wanted. Some topics included testing, simulation, and AI. And of course, I had some strong engagement with that as well. So let me talk about professional development a second. When we launched the Faculty Fridays, it was interesting because I know what you're thinking. Faculty voluntarily attending sessions on a Friday morning. Even I thought this might be a stretch, but we held them on Zoom, and what I discovered is this. When faculty are truly hungry for knowledge, you do not have to convince them. They show up. So we had those 11 Faculty Fridays postponed today because this weekend is graduation festivities at the University of the Southern Caribbean, and my colleagues are involved with that, with everything that goes into that, and our last one will be next Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And as I said, we introduced USC colleagues to Sigma, so you're going to hear their names and see their pictures with today's induction ceremony. And the pictures here you can see come from the campus at USC. So those are just on my daily walks that I've taken that. So as I said, they're joining not as along the way we introduced Sigma to them, and about half of them are joining not because they have to, because they want to. They definitely see the value and growth. All right, my third Fulbright aim was curriculum consultation. So I worked with USC leadership and faculty to support the ACEN accreditation process for the baccalaureate nursing program at USC. So with that, we were aligning evidence, addressing standards, and helping bring forward a clear and compelling picture of the program's strengths. ACEN stands for the Accreditation Commission for Education in Nursing, and it's the only U.S. organization that accredits not only national programs, but also international ones. Separately, and in partnership with the program director, I conducted a crosswalk that incorporated 4 accreditation frameworks to help inform what a future master's program at USC could look like. Because right now, they just offer a 4-year traditional undergraduate program. So we're hoping that that can ensure that by doing the crosswalk with their 4 standards, that will meet their international standards and local needs. But the heart of that experience was a collaboration around ACEN, because both faculty and leadership came together with a shared purpose. Everyone contributed their expertise, and at a certain point, it all just clicked. The work moved simply beyond meeting requirements to telling a cohesive, confident story about the program and its outcomes. And the result, USC became the first nursing program in the Caribbean to achieve ACEN accreditation for its baccalaureate nursing program. Hey, thanks. You have to understand that GW Nursing went through its own accreditation process last April before I went, so we all know the pain of what it's like to go through accreditation, so it's a huge standard to meet. So congratulations to my colleagues at USC there. So this is a legacy moment for the institution, for the country, and for the profession. So that was, so this is the regional impact that we had. So one of the unexpected highlights of my Fulbright experience was the opportunity to participate in the Western Hemisphere Regional Travel Program. Through this program, I was able to travel to South America for the first time in my life to Suriname. And just to keep things interesting, Suriname's primary language is Dutch, which is great, except I'm not Dutch. I do not speak Dutch, although apparently I do have some Dutch in my DNA, so I guess genetically I was prepared, linguistically not so much. In Suriname, I presented a 3-hour workshop at Polytechnic College on designing better exams, including blueprinting, writing multiple choice test questions, and using item analysis for exams. And in true Fulbright fashion, it was not just about presenting, it was about connection. I stayed with another Fulbright scholar, exchanged ideas across institutions, had the chance to explore the capital city together, and even hiked in the Amazon rainforest. It was one of those moments where I realized that this experience is bigger than one project or one country. It is about sharing knowledge across borders and building a global nursing community. All right, and this brings me back to Sigma. Sigma is not just an honor society, it is a global leadership organization that develops nurse leaders, advances scholarship, and promotes collaboration across borders. I have experienced that firsthand, from my own induction to my Sigma leadership project to bringing the opportunity of Sigma membership to colleagues internationally. Sigma opens doors, but most importantly, it helps you walk through them with purpose. To our newest inductees, you are here because of your excellence, but Sigma is not about what you have already done. It is about what you will do next. You now belong to a global community that expects you to lead, mentor, ask difficult questions, and improve the systems we all work in. And if I've learned anything from serving in the U.S. Navy, from academia, and from the Fulbright experience, it is this. You do not have to be the top 10% of your class to make an impact. You just have to say yes to opportunities. You need to be willing to grow and commit to bringing others alongside with you. To those of you here in the auditorium and to my USC colleagues joining us on Zoom, as you move forward as Sigma members, my hope is that at some point in your career, you will take a step outside your comfort zone and say yes to an opportunity that stretches you, whether that is leadership, research, or even something as bold as a Fulbright experience. Because the most meaningful growth and the greatest impact happens just outside of your comfort zone. So say yes to leadership, even when you're not sure you are ready. Say yes to opportunities that challenge you, and maybe say yes to something that takes you across the world, because you never know where that one yes might lead. Congratulations again, and welcome to Sigma.
Thank you, Dr. Cox, for that beautiful message. So what did we learn today? What word are you going to say? Yes, you're going to say yes, of course. That's how I got here. I said yes, right? All right, now comes the most exciting part, right? We get to induct our nominees. I'm going to ask Mr. Sheppel to come to the stage because he is going to be reading your names. So we're going to ask our undergraduates who are here to please stand and line up on the stage, by the stage. Keep your note card with you, and we'll be announcing your name shortly. And we'll do the graduates in a minute.
Nelly Batista. Pamela Bowie. Brittany Cuddle. Phoebe Dye. Alexis Daniels. Jesse Field. Caroline Hammonds. Dominic Kalu. Irene Mothui. Gabriella Walters.
We will now ask our graduate inductees to please stand and come towards the stage.
Alex Barron. Enionola Ayodele. Andrea Beckett. Julene Johnson. Christina Jones. Marvlette Lewis. Grace Olson. Jocelyn Puyod Forio. Tina Ronnie. Adriana Sabova.
At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Cox to come to the podium to accept the cords for our USC nurse leaders.
Dr. Adams Robinson. Dr. Campbell George. Ms. Gervais Yardy. Ms. Gokul Siprasad. Ms. Knight's Diet. Ms. Lewis Baton. Dr. Peyton Armour. Ms. Ruiz. Ms. Smith Kwanzaa. Ms. Swan. Dr. Valley Tom. Dr. Wolford.
Congratulations, Sigma members. Let's give them a round of applause. So now I ask everyone in the room who's a new inductee to please stand and repeat this pledge after me. You ready? Okay. I accept membership in Sigma Theta Tau International. I accept membership in Sigma Theta Tau International. And I pledge to fulfill its commitment to nursing excellence, knowledge, service, and leadership. Nursing excellence, knowledge, service, and leadership. Throughout my career. Woo! Let's give it to them. That was a great job, wasn't it? Look, woo! You guys can have a seat. You guys did so wonderful. I'm so proud of you guys. So our 27 call to action is lead together, our voice, our value, our impact. When we lead together, we elevate our voices to advocate for issues that matter most to nurses and the patients. We advocate for our value as a trusted clinical expert, educator, researcher, and innovator. And we expand our impact, improving health outcomes, advancing equity across diverse global communities. We would like to say welcome to Sigma. Congratulations. Congratulations, our chapter leaders online. Let's give USC a huge round of applause. I had the opportunity to read their applications for Sigma. I'm like, wow, I need to hurry up and do more things to catch up to where they are. Your work is impressive, you're inspiring, and I thank you for all that you do to prepare the next generation of nurses. So as we say goodbye to our chapter leaders, I'm just going to give you some information. So we're going to go ahead and have our inductees walk out together. There is a purple backdrop, so feel free to, by yourself or with your friends, go ahead and take pictures. This is your moment to celebrate your achievement. There are refreshments on the second floor, and we are so happy for you. Congratulations. So will our undergraduates please stand and exit? And then the graduates, if you can follow right behind them. And then family and friends and support persons will follow after that. Congratulations, guys.